Okay, we messed up the whole thing on this launch. This was supposed to kick off 10 minutes ago, and it was scheduled to be at 11:30 p.m. instead of a.m. And that's due to the fact of me being under the weather. Okay? In other words, for saying I was poisoned. But we'll go through that on the Patreon. Okay, finally they showing up. I mean, they must have forgot it was Tuesday. The damn recycle people, they seem like they don't be knowing what the heck they talking about. Hit the like button coming through the door. Yeah. Much better than I was yesterday. Now, let's get into this. Katt Williams and my favorite soul and human being, okay, Katt Williams laying it down. I'm going to show you and tell you about what's actually happening. I'm watching out for this doggone guy to recycle dude. Okay, there you go. You got mine. Oh, there it is. Recycle is done. Recycle like Michael, baby. Oh, yeah. So let's get into this and let's go through all of the details, as they're probably not going to send you a notification of any kind. And I apologize for that. But let's get to the gist of Joe Rogan and Katt Williams. Here's the thing. Joe Rogan never wanted to interview Katt Williams. He is oblivious to anything that has something to do with Black comedy or in the Black comedy circuit. Joe Rogan is somebody that is not connected with any of the Black comics that are in the Black circle. He don't do Black shows. He don't do those crowds because they have no connection to him, and he has no connection with them. He doesn't believe in anything. He worships money. And that's what Joe Rogan is about. Nothing. He's an elitist who loves to point out the problems of America and likes to blame it at the foot of those who particularly motion to help the poor. He points out their flaws and that they're really just putting on a mask. It's fake woke. But he never says anything about anybody else that he likes that's helping and doing something in the community and whatever. They don't do it. Absolutely he is. Absolutely he is. He walks around every day trying to mask it. Just ask yourself this question. When you associate yourself with a who predominantly have had some racial tropes, Dana White, Joe Rogan, and others that he hangs with in his circle, are not very diverse. They're not. And if you ask him about it, he'd say, oh, well, I'm good friends with Dave Chappelle. Dave Chappelle hang out with white folks. He hang around more white folks than he do the Black folks. He's an overt racist. No, he's just a racist, period. Period. Ain't no overt and all that. No, they just spend every day trying to mask that they're not. But it starts to seep out. Of course he is. He supports all of these people who don't do anything for the minorities. But he sits there and attacks those who say they're going to do something for the minorities and don't. But your side don't do anything. And you don't believe in anything. You're an atheist. So if you're an atheist, you have no belief. You have no faith. You worship nothing. Now, why do you feel that this situation in this interview didn't take off? They talked about a lot of things because Katt Williams is smart enough to navigate the conversation, right? He's smart enough to navigate this conversation because he knows and he sees what's going on. You see, he spends so much time trying not to be racist. He ends up saying something racist right in the interview that everybody black is like, why would you ask him that? He starts speaking about government control. And a lot of people say it was boring. You know, that's the people that like the beef. Like if he was talking about Steve Harvey and all those people on that show, there's a reason he didn't do that on this show. Because he's not finna do that for Joe Rogan. Now, let's look at it more importantly. Now, he wanted to talk about vape laws and Katt Williams was allowed to smoke weed on his show. And he wanted to talk about government control and wanted to give Katt Williams an example of overreaching for the government involvement while he brought up the California ban on flavored vapes. It's like, can you imagine lawmakers are like strawberry mist is our number one problem? No one's ever said that. But he said, can you imagine lawmakers saying that? The reason why they don't, in California, they don't like smoking, period. California is like the most health place there is. There's one of those Java juice places everywhere. Hell, people hardly even eat. It's all juices and shakes and people running around in tights all day, or they walking dogs. Then you went ahead to mention that the law should have also included a ban on menthol cigarettes. Historically, a flavor is often chosen by African American buyers. That was fine, but they let it also hurt Black people and that it counted menthol as a flavor. Then he comes out and says, why do Black people like menthol cigarettes so much? What's that about? Katt Williams said, you're going to get me canceled. This is very racist, this conversation. Yes, Black people like menthol cigarettes. A lot of them smoke menthols. If you go into the neighborhood, that's what they smoke. But I've known white people to smoke menthols just as much as Black folk. See, a Black person actually getting ready to answer this is terrible on all ends. Before things get called concentrate, that's what we appreciate, the concentrated. There's a whole thing with liquor and malt liquor and the difference between the two. That's what Katt said. One is richer and stronger, and as a people, we tend to go with those products. and the fact that menthol is a natural thing. So anybody who's from the South knows about mint plants. So you appreciate that as a flavor profile as well. So he spent 3 hours trying to get Katt Williams caught up in all kind of BS. He actually went into asking him about Transformers, which he discussed as a cultural trend rather than a matter of identity. He said, 20 years ago, I knew that the Transformers were going to be a thing. The earliest I have seen that word, Transformers, was in the Bible, right? The Transformers, referring to the satanic deity that's often depicted and that we see countless times everywhere, right? So he knew the ritual of the Transformers. To show allegiance to him, you had to kiss a certain ring. Then Rogan's response to that whole question was, we got some good weed here, Katt. You see, he asked Katt Williams these dangerous questions, and he refuses to respond or have dialogue. This is where he's terrible at interviewing. His whole response to everything Katt Williams said was, we got some good weed, Katt. So how is this guy the #1 podcast show? You invited this man up because you never wanted Katt Williams on your show. You could have had Katt Williams anytime you wanted. Katt said a lot of things that would get him in trouble. What he wanted to do was have Katt Williams put him on a stage and a platform where he could say something so controversial that Joe himself is not going to say. He's not going to back it up, even though he asked the question. And he didn't like Katt Williams' answer. He didn't even play along with it. He was dismissive of the question that he just asked. No feedback, nothing. Now, why is that? Willie D interview was all over the place. But the thing is that saved Willie a lot is that it was recorded earlier, but he waited 2.5 months to even put it out. Once he saw Shannon Sharp get all those views, just like Joe Rogan, everybody want a piece of Katt Williams now. No, I don't think Joe Rogan is good. He's a hack. You see, the thing about Joe Rogan is that he's propped up on these conservatives, right, who are backing him and keep pushing his show, right? Now, let's get to this point. When has Joe Rogan ever went against a Republican? When has he ever went against a conservative? When has he ever had something that was non-biased? When has he ever said something against Dana White? Right? He knows all Dana White atrocities because a lot of time he was there. So his steroid taking self that caused him to go bald now he like a big old muscle head. Rah, 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 rah. All those racist, elitist people they hang with. But yet, they're not racist. Like he says, oh, well, you know I'm not racist, you know. Well, you know I'm not racist. How do we know that? A lot of people think because they marry somebody black that they ain't racist. That don't mean anything. I've seen racist people married to black people and convinced that they wife and husband, whatever, they ain't black no more. They think they white. Yeah, like Vlad. Vlad, oh no, I got a black wife. We got twins. So I ain't racist. Okay, I don't see you ask white people the type of questions you have. You've made your content on black people and adult film stars and having them saying things that's getting them locked up. What white person got locked up because what he said on your show? Or lost their life? You've interviewed a lot of dead people. And I mean, he's giving platforms to people that had no business being on that platform. Now he's trying to do this rebranding thing. He's trying to fix his image. Now I got to fix my image now. If your image was who you were and what you stood for on morals, then you would already know what time it was. You asked about 20 questions that could get Katt Williams canceled all over again on your show. You wanted to bring him on there to ask him these dangerous questions because that's what y'all want. Y'all want him to attack the woke and the Democrats and all that. That's what you wanted him for. Say, I'm going to let you ask these questions. And then once he's done, you have no rebuttal. Your only rebuttal is, this some good weed, Katt. So you don't fool any of us. Yeah, I've been around Joe Rogan. Been around Joe Rogan. He's a bit this was Mayweather versus McGregor. Mayweather McGregor was coming around. This is when I was going to interview Conor McGregor. You know, I was at Floyd's camp and they was like, they thought I was a spy at Dana White or whatever. I'm like, dude, I'm here to do this interview. I don't really want to, but I'll interview this bastard. I don't like him. I don't like you. So they're like, no, we'll take this guy, and this guy. No Paulo Malignaggi, no him. Dana White pointed at me. I'm like, me? No. Because he seen me around at Floyd's gym. So I could see if that was his reason. Like I was going to tell some secrets. I'm there to do the interview. So he didn't want Paulo Malignaggi there. And he didn't want me there. So Paulie took over the whole scene. But Dana White didn't want me there. Joe Rogan's just sitting there looking like he's cool, got on some sunglasses, chewing some gum. Yes, I've never liked Joe Rogan. I like the fact that he was passionate about MMA early on. He was the guy that was there back when he had hair before, but he got so addicted, he wanted to be like one of the fighters. He wanted to get in the octagon. He started taking roids. He started working out, and him and Dana White started sharing roids, and there it was. They were buddies. This is my friend Joe Rogan from Fear Factor. Of course, he outsmarted Joe. He wasn't going to say anything that was crazy. Now, he asked him about Sodom and Gomorrah, right? He said white people fall asleep by leaving his podcast on. No, what they do is they put it in those conservative chats. And those conservative chats that have 21,000 people in there, 30,000, this chat got this. So they'd be like, Joe Rogan's live. So the conservative people will all click that link that's in their chats. So then they get all these inflated views. Meanwhile, they submerge all of everybody else down who they don't feel is at that level. Nicki Minaj to talk about Meek, and I mean, what do you want her to tell? I mean, he was eating her toes. I'm like, you kissing her feet and sucking her toes? Mm-mm. Well, that ain't smart, dude. Well, you see, he tried to explain to them exactly what the situation was. And when you try to explain to someone what a situation truly is, it's up to them to either believe it or not. You know, it's up to them. My job has never been trying to convince somebody of something. Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, the whole interview they did was
Joe Rogan button and subscribe to the channel. It's only about 1.2% of you that are actually subscribed to the channel that watch it.
And so people at that time just remember the water not being that great. And then all of a sudden the water is really great and it's got fluoride and it's good for your teeth. Right.
Despite the fact that there's direct correlations between high levels of fluoride in drinking water and low IQs. They think it lowers people's IQs. They think it's terrible for you. Fluoride's dangerous. You're not supposed to swallow.
There's a lot of people who are getting really mad at what Joe Rogan and Katt Williams are saying. And I'm going to show you those comments here in 1 second. But a lot of people are saying, oh, these are all just conspiracy theories with no, studies behind them, no factual evidence behind them. Let me know in the comments. Is what's being told to the U.S. citizens on why there's fluoride in the water, is it simply because it's good for your teeth? Like, are they truly injecting it and just putting fluoride into the drinking water who is under the U.S. government, their rule? And
Sick thing that you can't buy or purchase or handle.
It's in your drinking water. And it's not doing you any good other than supposedly it's good for your teeth.
Well, even if it was.
Yeah, even if it was. At what cost?
Even if it was great for your teeth and your bones, you drinking it wouldn't be the way you'd be trying to get that.
If they really wanted to help our teeth, then go drop off some, fluoride-ridden toothpaste that everyone's.
Now, what people don't really understand or get is that good people will always show up and do the right thing. But Katt Williams is not a person that they finna trap with this sick game. You see, when you put somebody in a chair and put the lights and camera on them and say, we're going to give you all the weed you could smoke because we know that's your vice. You like smoking weed. So we're going to put you on this floor. Smoke it up. Oh, yeah, they're going to say that. Smoke it up. We're going to put all these vices that you can't live without. We want all these vices for you. No one else but you. So they feel they have you in a position, and yes, Fair Use Act, Fair Use Act. This is for commentary purposes only. We're not rebroadcasting the events.
I think it's probably true, but I still hold open the possibility that it's all bullshit.
Here's the whole thing. No one who has ever seen more space or the universe than you and I has ever seen anything that was bullshit
What do you mean?
in the universe.
But what I mean is like fake UFO footage. There's a lot of fake footage. I would want to see, if you could see something yourself. I have good friends that have. I have good friends that have had experiences that they say there is no fucking way that is us, that this is something else.
Right. Just understand that part of the job in any of these circumstances is to kick up kerfuffle. Like,
Right.
That's part of it. Like, if you live in Florida, you see how many times things go off into space, and you know that there's a pattern between that and government airplanes. And like our stories of cooperation have been nothing but cooperative, as they could only be. Like, we don't hold any leverage.
I think some of the shit that we're seeing is our stuff.
Right. I'm saying, but nobody will have a way of, like, as advanced as we are, we still got to let that balloon fly over, right?
Yeah. What the fuck is that? That's the most obvious shit ever. That's your neighbor peeking over the fence.
No, it is not. It is your neighbor's drone.
Yeah, your neighbor's drone.
In your yard.
Now, I'm not shocked. What would you be shocked? I told you he was going to be on the show. You do 60 million views, you'll be on 60 Minutes. Now, what Joe Rogan is doing is coming up with all these conspiracy theories. Is there a UFO? Yeah, I saw one right in the hood. Me, my boy, and my cousin, we were the only three outside, and we saw that damn spaceship come right above our head and flash a light on us. And I told my cousin, I said, go get the family right now, because they ain't gonna believe this. And we tried to come up with every excuse for what that thing was. As it went over the expressway, and it went and extended up. And I said, nigga. And he waits till the damn thing is leaving before he go. He didn't want to leave. Then he comes up with the fact that maybe it was a tractor beam. Oh yeah, I saw one. That's no lie. I can describe it. I remember it just like it was yesterday. I can tell you everything about that UFO. It had colors that was like red, blue, and they were going at the bottom, just going by like different colors. We were trying to think, like, is that a test object? Like, that can't be real. We still saying that that's some military stuff. But I ain't never seen anything like that in my life. And we went right over and we went and got I think my auntie was in there. And I was like, and I asked my buddy recently, I'm like, you remember that time we saw that UFO? He was like, yep. Nobody gonna forget that. But we know if we keep saying it, people just gonna say, you crazy. Ain't no damn UFO. So we just say, hey, I ain't finna convince nobody. You imagine telling somebody from the hood, hey, Frank, these niggas say you saw a UFO, nigga. Tell them what you saw. Tell them. Man, dude, you will get rolled in the hood. You will get roasted in the hood. What year are we talking about? This is the 90s. This is the 90s. Absolutely. It was a master class of reading in between the lines. Yeah. If you really want to use your intelligence to not say anything that would cancel you, but it will raise some eyebrows, as Joe Rogan just kept throwing theories out to the world. Just all theory. They say it's this, but if we look at the research said this. The research said this is bad for us. We should be using this type of soap that's ran by a conservative. I mean, society says that Mr. Pillow is the one we need. It's maybe Fluffy. You know, we know what's going on, man. Come on. Of course. Joe Rogan is a mediocre comic. And the thing is that Joe Rogan, his problem is when anybody brings up Katt Williams on his show or anything like that, he normally saying he didn't know anything. He was oblivious to anything black, but he's not racist. Now, let me say that to say this. There is no obligation for white people to like you. And that's one thing black people have to understand. They don't have to like you. You just want your respect, but you ain't gonna disrespect me either. That's another thing. So I don't care. You could stay in your elitist bubble. Our thing is stop speaking on issues that don't concern you. Stop with your interference. If you don't want to be no parts of it, stay your ass on the sideline. And this is what I said in Kwame Brown's chat. Charles Barkley out here sitting over there with Gayle King. Well, see, black folk, what they need to do is what you need to do is keep eating out white women and go sit your ass down somewhere. Sit your old fat self down somewhere. You ain't been black since 1984. Now go and sit your butt down somewhere. Ain't been around nothing black. The only black people you see is when you walk on the set. You got family down there in Alabama. Do you check on them? No. Because they broke. They gonna ask me for something. So I ain't gonna even show up. His own mama was mad he was a Republican. He was, mama, I'm rich. I gotta be a Republican. I can't be a Democrat. Go sit your butt in a corner somewhere. This is what I keep talking about. They have nothing to do with the black community, but have all the, they want to sit on a panel and thinking they speaking for black folks. Nobody asked the Charles Barkley to do nothing for black people. So why are you trying to speak for black people? He had a little show he did where he was going into the hood. Charles Barkley is going to go to the black community. For what? For what? You said, look, Magic got it from a dude that made the song "We Ain't Gotta Take Our Clothes Off to Have a Good Time." All right. Obviously, they did take their clothes off to have a good time. And unfortunately, that good time cost that guy his life. Yep, we all know it. We talked about it on the Patreon. We talked about it here. Everybody know that's what happened. Oh yeah, Jermaine Stewart. We all know that. I mean, everybody know. So they was in a bunch of wild stuff back in the day. Now, what they did on top of everything. Oh, thank you, Chris. Christina says, put your lights up. Right. My thing is, you hang around the conservative people all day. Be conservative, Chuck. Quit trying to tell white folks what black people problem is when you are not associated or don't do anything with black folks in the black community. Shut up. Shut up. That's all you got to do, Chuck. Shut up. No one asked you a goddamn thing. I mean, why would I be on the Joe Rogan Experience? Why would I even go there? My target audience wouldn't be over there. So there's no reason for me to be over there. See, the reason that Katt's over there because Katt Williams don't really have a target audience. He has white fans. He has black fans. He's got Hispanic fans. He's got fans. No, the show ain't get canceled yet. They tried to poison me the other night. And we're going to go into that on the Patreon. Yesterday, I was down. Like, down. I slept damn near all day. I did that one video. Y'all saw. That was it. I was out. I couldn't move. And I knew it. Yeah, I'm going to tell my Patreons what happened. I'm still recovering now. I don't have all my strength back. So, good thing I was in good shape You know, I've been running track, I've been running outside, so I was in good shape. So it knocked me down. Like really put me down. But I pray for the other blacks that was there. Because right now they probably in bad shape. No, like he said, like, what? You mean, because they talked about the migrants, right? The migrants coming into the country. The migrants are coming. The migrants are coming. The migrants come and they get a check from the government. And now the homeless people are sitting there like, what the hell? You showing the homeless people what you could have been doing for them the whole time. And that's what Katt Williams is saying. Like, damn, you could have been doing this for the homeless right here. But the military, former people that fought in this country, that are homeless, all kind of injuries, they didn't got gas, all kind of things didn't happen to them. Shell shock. They got nothing. And they're homeless because people don't know how to deal with them. Well, this was a high interview. If somebody was high, this would be their interview. You know, Joe Rogan is damn near probably gone on edibles, and he's out there just acting really stupid, saying some of the dumbest things that in existence, asking him every dangerous question there is, so that other people who's watching this, conservative people, would really hesitate working with a Katt Williams. Oh, they tried to do a Smoke Champs. A guy wanted to do an all smoking show called Smoke Champs. YouTube shut it down because they don't promote marijuana use, so they couldn't get monetized. So that Smoke Champs went away. And then Drink Champs was going to get them for copyright infringement, but they didn't even have any money yet. So they were just getting started. And they was like, we're going to be the Smoke Champs. And that didn't go well. Well, it was like Katt Williams said, they liked the menthol so much because the menthols have mint flavors, which down there, down south, that's what they loved about the menthols. I don't smoke, so I don't have this problem. Katt Williams said, this is weed talk. Like, please don't even like take any of it serious. We just weed talking. But Joe Rogan wanted nothing to do with Katt Williams because he knows nothing about his specials. He don't know anything about his comedy. He just came out and said something negative about him one too long ago, saying, "Oh well, he had one joke and then he kind of went through that and then he just coasted." And the other comedian was up there was like, "It was the best thing I've seen. I've been watching that through the whole pandemic." Joe Rogan wasn't impressed. So that's why Katt Williams said that he was a mediocre comic, because he heard what Joe Rogan had said about him. That's why he's like, I'd never be on the Joe Rogan show. And he had 60 million people see that. Joe Rogan was, no, I love Katt Williams. He can come on my show. Well, why you never brought him up there? Why did you never bring him up? You see how they do? If he was so good, why you didn't have him on your show before? It's only because he did 60 million views, the highest views ever for a podcast show. Now you want him on your show, don't you? Now you want him. It's obvious why. You see, here's the problem. This is what the whole problem is, ladies and gentlemen. Two black men, Shannon Sharpe and Katt Williams, sat opposite each other. And they spoke and broke the internet. 60 million views. Black people talking to black people had the most views in the internet podcast history. So what does that tell you? What does that tell you? Where does the power lie? With you. They don't want you to know that part of it. They don't want you to say two black men can sit up there and do 60 million plus views and break the entire internet down. Two black people. So it don't have to, oh, well, you don't relate, you don't cross over well to the European side. Nope. European people watched it just like the black folk. So it shows you what? You don't have to curtail to them. That's what they don't like. They don't want to see that. They don't want to see two black men leading the charge. They don't want to see two black men doing what it is they do. Because it breaks the stereotype that they try to use when they talk about Taraji P. Henson. You just don't translate over to the European market. That's the line they use to try to keep you taking low salaries. That's the line they use to try to keep you ostracized. When this just shows you, they don't have to. Hit the like button, good people. I know y'all just got here. Absolutely. Donate to the Cash App Casino. I didn't run from the Laker thing yesterday. I was just messed up yesterday, trying to fight being poisoned and everything. I fought to get a video out with Jeezy and Jenny Ma. Y'all don't know what I went through to get that video out. And it still didn't go nowhere. I just couldn't even stay open, man. I was asleep for like 17 hours. I had to make sure I took care of myself and did everything, man. But I felt it immediately when the poison came. Well, it's kind of like this. I missed the Warriors game, but I saw the Clippers blow the damn game to the Bucks. I was going to talk about that too. But yeah, we're going to get on to that on the Patreon. Because I'm going to tell you the whole thing. This went all the way back to my Instagram post. It was shortly after that Instagram post. So I'll talk about it on the Patreon first because they deserve to know. A prediction for it? Anthony Joshua wins by decision, but he could get caught. And if he gets caught, it's good night. Yeah, the Clippers got a real problem. When the game gets hot and the other team is coming back, they don't know how to, for some reason, they just start going ISO ball. And they just start panicking. And guys just start jacking up threes. And I was watching that. I was just like, this is dumb. Yep, Killers of the Flower Moon. Thanks for the super chat. My Cash App is Carcino if you want to do that. And we didn't do the title thing, but here we go. All right. Now, let's get to the gist of things. Because I want people to understand what I'm talking about. So we did a lot in those times and days and everything that was included. Like we really did a lot. Like a lot of people are right now complaining about this video. And I knew that was going to happen. They coming in with the sabotage right now. Oh, yeah. He told Shannon Sharp that Joe Rogan don't want me on his show. And it was the truth. He didn't want Katt Williams on his show. But now you done told 50 million people that I got to have you on the show. You got to be on the show. And guess what? You were never going to break 60 million views. He wasn't going to give you that. He gave it to Shannon. Because Shannon had all those other guys on the show who seemed to be taking shots at Katt Williams and using Shannon's platform to do that. So he came up and right before he got started, he just started letting shots go. He started letting the bombs fly. Yep, because they got somebody else too. You know, like I ain't been outside in 2 days. He was like, Cedric, boy. And they had to cut it because he was laughing himself. I will bust your stomach. Now, Sid is on there. He didn't want to go back to revisit all that. But Sid was on Gilly and Wallow. Yeah, he was on Gilly and Wallow show. And that's when it started to go a little left. That's what we educate people on the Patreon about. Absolutely. And remember, I showed y'all that little interview thing we did with Nate Jones, and I told y'all that was just the raw cut. Y'all was seeing that firsthand. That wasn't what it was about. Like, I'm just like, this is giving y'all a little taste of what y'all was going to see. Because I'm like, this is a professional video that's done. Like, it's professionally set up. So definitely check out the Nate Jones story, as y'all finna see something right here with your boy Sino. Now y'all get to see what it looks like. Yo, what's up? Your boy Carcino for life here, once again, sitting here with the great Nate the Snake Jones. What's up?
The Nate Jones story is just one of many. So many great people come from the city that's winning.
So he had to be winning, and every morning he was winning in. I said, this kid got to be winning because he talking smack, he's down there every day winning in, so he must be winning. So by the semifinals came, he was down there again talking smack. So I walked up to the kid and I said, I can't wait to watch you fight, you talk so much smack. And I kind of spooked him and scared him. And I kind of felt bad about scaring him because I didn't feel good about scaring someone that's so much smaller than me. And on that day we was getting ready for the Golden Gloves. 1990s, early 90s, a lot of fun, man. And I learned a lot from Floyd Mayweather. If it weren't for him, I wouldn't have made as far as I did as a amateur boxer because he was very competitive, man. I learned a lot from the man. The man he trained hard every day, and it made me train hard every day. He didn't cut no corners. And that's one thing I had to stop doing because I had to be better than him. He was very competitive. We both were very competitive toward each other.
They blame others. They be like, man, it's your fault. You should have did this for me. You should have did that. I wouldn't have did that if you did this. But to say and to take the onus and say, hey, I made these mistakes. I'm a man. I live by that. And now I'm going to show these other young kids what not to do. Don't go this way. And I'm going to give them the tools to go out and achieve to be better and great. And that's a whole nother level people even with the most money in the world don't even have. So as you can see, that interview went smooth. It was very well recorded. Everybody was talking about the glare on my video. I'm like, that's just me just showing y'all the backside of it. Like the real professional interview is coming out later. And as you see, the whole professional one is out later. So join the Nate Jones show. Subscribe to the Nate Jones story. He's going to confirm. Well, we kind of did that off the record. So that's what it's called on YouTube, the Nate Jones story. You follow that, you're going to get a lot of behind the scenes information. Because a lot of the stuff that I talk about, he was right there. He was right there. So definitely go check that interview out. So now everybody's attacking Katt Williams because he says, oh, Katt says that Transformers is a satanic trend. You see, they want to find anything they can and use it against it. He said, if you was a comedian that cussed and you was ridiculed by the mainstream comedy giants, that would be like me on Joe Rogan. Joe Rogan don't want me on there. I need to be on Shannon. Joe got 6 comedians that ain't never been funny. He want to push out. But that's really how it is. Yeah, that's like asking black folks, why do y'all like chicken? Why do y'all like malt liquor? That's how he said it. He said it in a foundation of like, why do y'all like this? And Benjamin is as funny as a wet toilet. passive aggressive racism. It's just racism. When you ask them, why does black people like menthol cigarettes? Why do white people like them? Tennessee, they smoke menthol. You seen the most ghettoest girls in the world out here, ghetto white chicks smoking menthol. Well, if you watch the interview, you'll find out why he sound like that. He explains what happened. Now, if Katt Williams would have asked him, why is it that all white people like mayonnaise? Like, is there something in that just, why y'all like coleslaw so much? You know, that would be considered to be a stereotype. Yep. That's called a stereotype. Now, we have gotten away from stereotypes and just calling everything racist. Saying that you want to get behind Asian people, they travel very light, they don't carry a lot of things, and if you're at the airport and you're going through TSA, you want to go through that way to travel. That's it. Oh, Russell in Atlanta? That's just a bad everything for Russ. The place Russ need to go is the Steelers. Russ need the Steelers. It's like Kat said. Blacks like the mint flavor. Down south, they used to have all these mint sticks that they used to have, so it has the flavor that they're familiar with. So that's why a lot of them end up liking the cool mint flavor of menthols, as Katt Williams explained it. But white people smoke menthols as well. Malt liquor isn't bought by just black folks. Malt liquor is drunk by every white, black person there is. If you're an alcoholic, you'll drink anything that's in sight. Malt liquor is just cheap liquor. Just like Red Dog, Ice House. That's just nothing but gasoline. 50-cent cans of beer. $3.99 for a whole 30-pack. That is not going to be some good drinking. Yeah, I couldn't even talk about the game last night. It was bad early. They couldn't get a 3 to fall for OKC. So I was just sitting there just going through it. you know, with a temperature of 109. So I'm gonna leave it right here. We're gonna reconvene later on. See y'all on the Patreon. I'm gonna tell y'all what happened to me, and then we'll go from there. Deuces. Shouts out to KB, Kwame Brown, Bus Life. Welcome to HDII TV, Jag Sports with Jose Rodriguez.